First off and foremost, I just want to give my opinion on the tragedy that happened to George Floyd and black people around America, and that is the system is broken. It needs fixing. It's a tragedy, man. It shouldn't be happening. It's unexcusable, and I stand with the movement. So, so I'm thinking, I'm like, what can I do to help the situation? Like, how can I help? How can I help the movement, right? And I'm like, first and foremost, I think it's a good idea, like, if I educate myself a little more. And, like, obviously, I'm very, like, into the news. I mean, like, reading the news and stuff. But I think history is a great teacher. So I'm like, I have my great grandmother who, like, lived through, like, similar to what we're going through now. She lived during, like, the whole civil rights Martin Luther King movement. So I'm like, why don't I call her up and why don't I, like, interview her almost, so I can spread it, like, help educate people, you know what I'm saying? Alright, some real quick information about my great grandmother before we get into this. She is an 80 something year old citizen of the United States, New York City, specifically all her life. She's a Jewish female, I guess, white colored skin, still a minority. I don't know, maybe that plays in, I don't know, but it's valuable information, I think. Alright, here's the interview. Sorry about the shitty camera angles, I guess, whatever. It's insightful stuff. And I think that you have, like, a valuable perspective with, like, you experiencing the civil rights movement, I think.
Right, but I can go back further than that. We can go to the Tea Party, which is at the beginning of that country, and the people who would say, Americans should not riot, that was a riot. That was a destruction of property, and that's Americans did that.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of comparisons with that, actually.
It's an old tradition going back hundreds of years, maybe thousands. When people have no power, the only thing they can do is go out and demonstrate and protest. They have no power. Police have all the power. They arrest the guy, they kill the guy, and nothing happens to them. So what can they do? They can only protest. Now, when there are protesters, there is extremists who join in the protest. They could be from the left or the right, but they join in for the fun of it, for the looting and the breaking of windows, and they have a lot of fun doing that. So they get in wherever there's a protest. You'll always find extremists. Always, always, always.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, yeah, like, opportunists trying to, like, steal stuff like that, I feel.
Right, but that's not the fault of the protesters. The protesters have a legitimate grievance. Now, the Minnesota Attorney General, if you looked at my post on Facebook, could end the whole thing today. They could arrest those other 3 policemen and change the charge for the killer to murder 1. And that would be the end of the protest. That would stop it immediately. But they don't do it because they don't want to yield to the protest. They say, oh, we're not going to let them tell us what to do. So that's it.
Yeah. So, like, I know you were alive back then. So, starting, like, from back during, like, the 1950s and stuff, and obviously the racial situation has changed a lot, but do you think there are things that, like, haven't changed in regards to, like, racism and stuff?
The police treatment of blacks is still terrible. The fact that it could happen. Now, not all the police. Obviously, you can't lump all police in one group. But there are still police who are racist. And they see a black guy, they'll arrest him. They see a white woman, women, they won't. It's just so clear, it's now, are they better than they were in the 1960s? I think so. But are they
Yeah.
all good? No.
Yeah, I think something I saw that like kind of like woke me up almost, and I'm sure you probably heard about this, was the Amy Cooper in Central Park.
Yes, yes, yes. But she's a terrible woman.
Yeah, that
She's
was
just
like terrible to watch.
yeah. Luckily, the big difference is that people have cell phones, and he started to film her. If he didn't film her, then she would get away with it, including
Yeah.
this guy, Floyd George. No one would know that the policeman killed him in cold blood, except that he was filmed by some bystander. So the filming is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree. Were you there like personally to witness like the Martin Luther
No,
King
no,
movements?
not at all. Not at all. I had two very small children. I did not go down south
Hmm.
to participate in the voting. Not at all. But we were glued to the television. It was
Hmm.
so horrible. But young people who didn't have small children or old people who took buses and they went down south. And by the way, all the people said, oh, it's the outsiders who are causing all the trouble. That
Yeah.
happens every single time. It's the outsiders.
Yeah, so watching like this stuff on TV, would you feel like the spirit and like some of like the violent stuff going?
When he protested, he just walked, and you could see everybody walk with him. And people today say, oh, I walked with Martin Luther King. That gives them prestige.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No rock throwing, nothing.
None of that. Okay. But
Nothing.
I have seen like images, so it was peaceful, but I have seen like images and stuff of like the police, for example, like spraying the protesters with like fire hoses and stuff like that, I
Right.
think.
And they didn't do anything. They were completely peaceful. And the police turned on them. Now, that's why I'm thinking the police are a little better, because they do not attack peaceful protests. They attack the ones who are violent. But in 1960s, they attacked people who were just marching. They weren't doing anything. They were just walking.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, remember all those people who were saying, open up Kansas or whatever, all those people with guns?
Yeah, I saw like people with automatic weapons. Like that
Right.
happened
Now,
in Virginia too. Like
now, just a minute. Now, all those people, the police surrounded them, but nobody pushed them. Nobody did. The police left them alone. They were peaceful. That's true, and it was legal for them to carry arms. But that's the difference between them and the blacks. The police see the blacks, and right away they attack. But I do think they're better now than they were in the 1960s. I really do, because they were turning the hoses on peaceful protesters, and now that they're attacking the violent protesters. I think that's the difference.
yeah. So looking at like leadership now, like presidentially, or maybe the lack of leadership from the
Forget the
president.
presidential. Forget him. He's useless. He's absolutely useless. You have to work for the governors and the mayors. The president is just useless.
Yeah, so but you think he would have like more of an impact if he decided to like come out and say more and do something about it, almost like Kennedy did, I think.
Who knows? I mean, he's so useless. He's such a piece of worthless.
Yeah.
He's worthless. You're just awful.
I'm just like, I feel like these are times of history. Like we've been living through history, so I thought it would be like interesting to get your perspective since you've lived through like more history than I have.
And it's so horrible. We're in a pandemic, which is bad enough. 100,000 people have died in New York City. Oh, more now. I don't know how many have died in the United States.
Yeah, I think I think it's
A hundred
pretty
thousand,
high.
a hundred
Yeah.
thousand, yeah. Not in New York, 100,000
Yeah,
in
in the
the United States.
U.S.
Sorry. I mean, and on top of this, we have a murder of a guy who wasn't doing anything. He was. It just. It's sickening.
Yeah. Alright, so that's that. Honestly, it was a tough video to make for me. Tough subject to speak about. Like, you hate to see it, to be honest. And yeah, I decided to cover up my face with like those images during the video too, cause like this ain't about me. Like it is more than just me. So yeah.